Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in and welcome back to the show WTP Sports and me post game sports. We in the building and we talking the NFC South. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching for. We would greatly appreciate that. And tonight I got some very special guests with me. I got SEC Sean of the SEC Sean podcast. How you doing this evening, homie?
Doing good. Looking forward. We're getting down to these breakups. Am I echoing to y'all? What I thought. Let me jump out and jump back in.
Yes, sir. While he do that, I got another very special guest, the living legend, Mr. Robert Brown. How you doing tonight, homie?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. One more day of summer camp left for summer camp 2026. Man, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, what kind of camp you running?
I run a STEAM camp: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And we wrapped up our last competition today. Tomorrow will be our last day. We'll go to skating, have a nice little pizza party, and farewell, children. I'll see you next year.
Oh, that's excellent, man. That's excellent. So you're not fully retired.
I'm not fully retired. No, no. It's
Still
still
puts
money
the
on the
work in.
table.
Do you SEC? Do you got anything in your background on your laptop?
No,
Man, that is crazy.
I normally don't have an echo. I don't hear it now. I hear it when you're talking, but I don't hear it when I'm talking now. Technology at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all still hear it?
No, I don't hear it now.
What about you, Rob? You hear it?
I hear a buzzing.
Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. So let's get started.
Nah.
Now there, there it is.
Yeah, something's up somewhere, and I don't know where. But everything's shut even down on my phone next to the computer, everything.
SEC Sean, how you doing tonight?
Good. Football, man. We were talking backstage. It got kick on off now. A little preseason action. Get to see some of the younger people playing. Just kind of settle some of these quarterback things we got going on in Cleveland, amongst other places. And this is that time of the year, man. We're in August. Calendar slipped over. It's football season now. It's time to go.
Absolutely, man. I don't know why. Hold on, I'm a leave and come back in.
That'll work. We'll hold it down.
Right on.
So, Rob, I missed part of what you were saying about something. What's going on?
No, I was telling him tomorrow is our last day of summer camp here at and we run a summer STEAM camp: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And we finished our last theme challenge today, which dealt with AI, Claude, ChatGPT. What's the other two things? Copilot and it's another one. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. But we had women in technology come in from Nationwide Insurance, and they helped us put on our last theme. We had three other themes that we did this summer. We did disease, genetics, and archaeology. And so they tied all of those into our last theme, which was dealing with AI. So it was a really nice summer for us. So tomorrow we're going skating, then having a pizza party, and then we're going to send them children on their way.
Right.
So hopefully post game has got all those technical difficulties ironed out.
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I
I
don't hear
got you.
the echo. So let's get started. My mans, we got the NFC South to talk about tonight. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all leave in the chat what state you viewing from. We would greatly appreciate it. And we gonna get right to it. We're gonna start with the Saints, who finished last in the NFC South last year, looking for a bounce back. And my question to y'all, and I'm gonna start with Rob and then go to SEC on this. What do you expect from Tyler Shough year 2?
I really expect Tyler Shough to have a good season this season. They just signed Chris Olave to a nice contract. You got your number one receiver. Now it's time for him to hook up with Chris Olave, get their chemistry together, get their connection together where he knows, hey, on this down, I know where you're going to be. I'm going to get the ball in a spot where you can get it and make some plays for us. I expect Tyler Shough to be a lot better this year than he was last year, and he wasn't bad as a rookie. I like his upside, and I think the Saints understood that he was a good option for them to pick last year in the draft. Well, you could say 2 years ago. This will be his second year. I like Tyler Shough. I really do.
What you got, SEC?
Yeah, I hate following Rob. He takes a lot of my thunder, but that's all right. Still, I mean, he was only a rookie last year, and he was great. I'm gonna go just out of this. Hold on a second. Let me shut down. I'm not gonna leave those. Just let me and get to my. I'm just gonna have to do this live because I don't know why that echo's coming. Do y'all hear me now? Can y'all no? Can you hear me?
You good, brother? No echo.
There it is.
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something to do with my head doing an echo, so I just got rid of them for tonight. Like I said, I hate following Rob, just due to the simple fact that he steals a lot of my answers. But for a rookie, he had a pretty good season. I know the Saints didn't have the year they were hoping for, but I think with everything, when you think about having a rookie quarterback, I just think you look at the ceiling for him has gotten a lot higher this year. Rob mentioned just signing Olave to a new extension. You know who that is. I know we got a question coming up about the running back position, so we'll save my thoughts on that till then. I expect him to have a really good year and put the Saints in contention for a playoff berth.
Yeah, I like Tyler Shough. I liked him when he was at Louisville under the Browns, and he had a big game against Notre Dame his last year in college. I expect Tyler Shough to cook this year, my mans. I think the addition of Jordan Tyson in the NFL draft to pair with Chris Olave is going to get that offense everything they need to be explosive. And then they get the running back Travis Etienne, not ETN. They sign him. They still have Alvin Kamara. I love this New Orleans Saints offense. I think they're going to cook this year. So I expect a year 2 jump for Tyler Shough. I think he's going to improve in all statistical categories for the Saints. Anything else on Tyler Shough? No? My second question for y'all, and I'll start with you on this, SEC Shine. With the addition of Travis Etienne, what kind of role will Alvin Kamara have this year?
This is a huge get for me for New Orleans and their offense. We know how dynamic Kamara can be. We've seen it out of the backfield. But now you're adding another weapon back there who is a really good running back. So I think it's going to keep Kamara fresher for maybe those third downs where they can run him out, swing him out on the wheel, run him across a little angle route, get him the ball out in some space and let him see what he can do. And I think it'll keep him fresher because now you've got a back taking some of the load off of the every down carries. So I expect Kamara to have a really, really solid season. I would even say he might have one of the better receiving seasons out of the running back position that we've seen in the most recent seasons of the NFL.
Do you still think Kamara has anything left in the tank? He's getting up there in age.
I do. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I do, because of what I just said with having, however, what do you say? Achan. With having him back there, I think he does have more in the tank because he's not going to have to be the bell cow. He can just be kind of the guy that comes in to get, I don't know, an extra back out there for a receiving. So he's not going to take the beating of a typical running back. So I think it'll help keep him fresher. And I think he's got a little bit left in that role.
Yeah, I do too. What you got on this, Rob? You on mute.
Alvin Kamara has just become a third down back. I think that with Achan coming over there to the Saints, he's going to have to be relegated to a down back, a guy used for pass pro, things of that nature. I mean, of course, he's going to get some carries to keep teams off balance, but I don't think he's going to be that number one running back. I think Achan is going to be the guy who does that. But hey, listen, having a fresher Alvin Kamara on third down, and you can put him on a safety or on a linebacker out the backfield, and he's super fresh, man, listen, that's going to be a nightmare for defenses knowing that a guy as versatile as Alvin Kamara is coming in on third down. I like the fact that the Saints understand that they had to bolster that offense, and they got Tyler Shough some help. And I really like what they're doing at the New Orleans Saints. One of the better franchises in the recent history, anyway.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I agree with y'all. I think bringing Achan over from the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to extend Alvin Kamara's career as long as he's able to stay healthy, which you can say that about any running back. But I think relegating him to a third down role where he isn't taking as much of a toll as he has done in past years is going to do wonders for Alvin Kamara. I look forward to seeing him. He's 31 years old in this back half of his career. But I think getting Achan is going to be a huge help for Tyler Shough, a versatile running back who can run and catch the ball out of the backfield. So that's my thoughts on Alvin Kamara and Achan, as he said he wants to be called. No more ETN, it's Achan. Any more thoughts on the Saints, fellas? No? Let's move to the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to start with you on this, Mr. Brown. My question is, between Michael Penix and Tua, who do you expect to be QB1?
The battle of the most injured quarterbacks in the last recent years in college football. I'm really going with Tua on this one. I think that Tua and what we've seen him be able to do in the NFL when he's healthy gives him the nod against Penix. Maybe Penix needs to go ahead and learn a little bit more. Even though he's had some bright spots, I still don't think he's ready to turn the corner for the Falcons. So if I'm rolling out any of them, I'm rolling out Tua because I think he's the better quarterback of the two, much more experience, and I just feel like he's better at what he does. Eventually, Penix will be there, but I'm going with Tua.
Well, what if both of them get injured? Do you have any faith in Cooper Rush as a third-string quarterback in Atlanta?
No, they might as well run the Wildcat.
What about you, SEC?
Well, I'm going to disagree with Rob. I think it's Penix. Um, I think Tua is too much of a liability with the injury history. I think you go with Penix and you see what happens. That's just my theory. I mean, Tua's got a little bit more experience to him, but I just think the injury concern with Tua would kind of shy me away from getting him hit too hard and out again. And then Penix has to jump in, which is fine. But your comment a second ago to Rob about Cooper Rush, I don't have faith in Cooper Rush. I mean, he was the backup in Dallas and got a lot of playing time, and I think we've seen what Cooper Rush is. He'll make a throw here and there that's going to make you go, huh, pretty cool. And then he'll throw it right to the other team. So I don't have any faith in Cooper Rush. But I don't think many teams have faith in their third-string quarterback. I'll say that much, too.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, listen, man, I don't even think Penix is ready to play right now. So I'm going to lean Tua on this. I think he has some weapons to play with in Atlanta. I know he's one hit away from probably being out of the NFL, but between Michael Penix and Tua, if you got to ask me right now, I'm going with Tua on this, fellas. I just don't have Michael Penix. I think in the first place, they reached a little bit on Michael Penix. I think they kind of could have got him a little bit later. But hey, they felt like that he could be the franchise guy, so they made the move what they thought was the best move at the time. But I think getting Tua was a good move. Not the strongest arm. They get to play in the dome in Atlanta. A lot of domes in that NFC South. So I'm gonna have to go with Tua on this, and hopefully he can get our man Drake London the ball. So we'll see what happens. Any thoughts on that QB battle before we move on? No. Bijon Robinson. I'm gonna start with you, Rob. Is Bijan Robinson the best RB in the NFL? And if he is, tell the people why.
Bijan Robinson is definitely the best running back in the NFL. I feel like this is a guy who can catch the ball out the backfield. He can easily catch 100 balls. A guy who can also rush for 1,500 to close to 2,000 yards in a season. I think that the Falcons understand how dynamic he is in an offensive scheme, and they really showed that last year. I feel like if this guy can just make sure that he stays healthy, because he's going into his fourth year, just got a really nice contract, the best running back contract I think in the history of the NFL. I just feel like his name is going to start to be mentioned when you start talking about the last 10 years worth of running backs with Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley.
How about you, SEC Shine? Is Bijan Robinson the best running back in the NFL?
Well, I knew Rob was going to say yes because he has to. He's obligated. So I hate saying yes, but I'm going to. I think the combination of strength, the ability to break it if he needs to with some speed, the agility, the bulk, the hands, the catching, the combination. He is the best running back in my mind in the NFL. There's some good ones out there, don't get me wrong, but I think he's proven that he's better than the rest. And one reason I do give him the nod, another one is Atlanta hasn't really had a passing attack. So it's been key on Bijan, and you still can't stop him. So to me, that says a lot about his desire, his strength, his want to. And that goes a long way for telling me somebody is the best in their position. You can be a great athlete, but if you don't have the want to, then it's not going to pan out. So I'm going to give it a yes.
Cool. I like that because I agree with both of y'all. I think Bijan Robinson is the best running back in the NFL currently. Now, It's really close between him and Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm going to give Robinson the nod simply because he's more physical. He's a bigger guy. I think he's built to take more of a beating as the running backs take throughout the NFL season. He also can catch the ball, like you guys mentioned, a guy who can get 400 or 500 yards passing, maybe 5 touchdowns to go along with 12, 13, 14, 1,500 yards rushing with 7 to 10 touchdowns every single year. You can book it. But to me, the best three running backs in the NFL, Bijon Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jonathan Taylor. What y'all think of my list? Top three, did I get it right?
Can't argue with it. I mean, for sure. Um, uh,
Yeah,
Taylor,
hey,
yeah.
can't argue that.
Cool. Let's move on, man, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's one take Zay's team. Going into the final year of his contract, should the Bucks re-sign Baker Mayfield? SEC, jump it off for us, man. What's your thoughts on Baker Mayfield?
As much as I'd like to say yes, I'm going to lean no here. Mayfield when healthy is good. He is good. I'm concerned what's he going to look like this year. You don't have Evans. You don't have Godwin. He left. So what's he going to look like this year? I think at some point Tampa has to start looking to the future too.
Oh, wait,
where they're going to go next.
I don't mean to cut you off, but Godwin's still there.
Is he? I thought he left in free agency too.
Nope, he's still there.
Okay, then I misspoke and I apologize. Thanks for the correct. I really thought he left too. So he's still there, so that's good. But his question is, can he stay healthy a whole year? He's had some injury issues. But I still think losing Mike Evans is a big loss for that offense. So I'm going to lean no. If you do extend him, I'm going a year. I'm not going no 4 or 5 year, 3-year deal with Mayfield right now. Just how I look at it, I think you need to start planning for down the road without Baker.
You don't like Baker Mayfield, you would not extend him.
No, but I'm also probably a little biased too because the backup quarterback is a really good friend of the family. My son played high school ball with him, so I'm kind of a little biased on that too.
Jake Browning?
Well, actually, I guess if you want to call Browning, but Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask, got you. What's your thoughts on this, man? Should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers re-sign Baker Mayfield, Rob, or should they let him walk?
They should absolutely sign Baker Mayfield. I mean, this guy has really been a really, really good quarterback in the NFL since he joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been able to do some things, especially late in games when they need a touchdown or they need a score to get in field goal position or something like that. Baker Mayfield finds a way to get his team in position to get those points. I really like Baker Mayfield, and I probably should not like Baker Mayfield because he went to Tech. I think he beat us once at Tech, and then he went to Oklahoma and beat us once at Oklahoma. I was never a big Baker Mayfield fan for those two reasons. He went to Tech, and he went to Oklahoma. But, man, I like Baker Mayfield in the NFL. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks when it comes to leading his team. I think he's going to be phenomenal this year if he's healthy. I think he has a really good number one receiver, too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Man, it's tough because I think the thing that happens, a lot of these GMs have their eyes on next year's draft with all that quarterback talent being available to draft. Even probably in the second or third round, you're going to find a really good young quarterback with a lot of potential if you so choose. But man, I think it all depends on this season. I think Baker Mayfield is healthy. He had a down year last year. He was dealing with a lot of injuries. This whole roster was dealing with a lot of injuries. But they did lose big Mike Evans. So I want to see how he adjusts, that offense adjusts to losing Mike Evans. I know they got Bucky Irvin and a couple other running backs, Kenny Gainwell, Sean Tucker on that roster that should help Baker Mayfield out a lot. But who's going to be able to step up in that receiving core? Will it be Emeka Buka? Will it be Tez Johnson? SEC Sean talked about Chris Godwin and his inability to stay healthy. So if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm going to see how the season starts before I put the ink or the pen to the paper and re-sign Baker. Anything else?
Let me jump in real quick because I missed the news that Kyle did not re-sign after his rookie contract with Tampa Bay. He is working out for Carolina right now. There's still an open door for him to come back to Tampa, but right now he's working out for other teams. So we'll see how that works out. But I straight up missed that news. Not even gonna lie.
Hey, that's absolutely dope that your son played with Kyle. Was it Kyle Trask in high school?
Yep. Wasn't even the starting quarterback on the high school team.
Really?
Yeah, he was a backup.
And he played college football?
At the University of Florida.
Sure did.
He broke Tim Tebow's record for rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns in a game streak.
You know what? That's similar to the quarterback at Oklahoma State, though, right? Because he didn't play quarterback in high school. Now he's throwing 50 touchdowns every year. But anyway, anything else on Baker Mayfield before we move on, fellas? No? So I got a question about the wide receivers in Tampa Bay because, like I said, again, they lost big Mike Evans. He's in San Francisco this year. But my question to y'all, and I'm going to start with you on this, Rob. How good will Emeka Ibuka be with Mike Evans gone?
He's going to be phenomenal, man. If you go back and you look at Emeka Ibuka's pedigree, man, and how he does things, he was at Ohio State. He waited his turn. He got his opportunity to be the man. He balled out. Tampa Bay in his second year, the man goes somewhere else. Now it's his opportunity to be the man. I don't expect him to do nothing else but be the man. And I think he showed last year that he could be a number one wide receiver. I really like Emeka Ibuka, as much as I hate to say it, coming from Ohio State and how them Ohio State dudes that come on the channel with us be talking so much trash. But, man, you got to love a guy like Emeka Ibuka. He is a baller.
What you got on this SEC? What kind of year do you expect from Emeka Ibuka with no Mike Evans, my man?
Well, if Tampa Bay wants to have any success, it better be a big one. Because he's going to have to replace Evans, and I think he can. And I expect him to. I remember watching him a little bit last year and seeing him when he was at Ohio State. Put the ball near him. He's catching it. If it's in his radius, it's his. And I like I haven't really seen the quote unquote diva from him, if that makes sense when we talk about wide receivers. I haven't seen it. Maybe I just have not watched the games where he was a diva, but I just haven't seen that flash and the pizzazz. And it's to him, it seems like it's all about business to him. And that's what I like to see. Somebody that's going to go out there and produce and give you just numbers. Just give me the ball. Let's move the chains. Let's keep going. That's what I see. And I expect him to have a really big year this year, to be honest.
Do you think, and I'm this is for both of y'all. Do y'all think there's any chance that Chris Godwin leads the team in, let's say, targets and receptions this year?
I don't think so. I think Emeka Ibuka has solidified himself in Baker Mayfield's mind as the guy that I want to go to. He's going to be the guy who's going to be the person on this roster the longest. I don't know how much time Godwin has with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Phenomenal player when he's healthy, but when he hasn't been healthy. So I think he's going to try to build his relationship with Emeka Buka at the wide receiver position, being quarterback one at Tampa. And I just don't feel like Godwin's going to be the man. I think it's going to be Emeka Buka.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think a couple of years ago, I'd have told you, no, it's going to be Godwin. I would have told you that a couple of years ago. I think the injuries have slowed him down a step. And I think it's time for Ibuka to be like, hey, just give me the ball. Let's go. And so I see him. I see him leading the team in receptions.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think it was a tell of two halves last year when it comes to Emeka Ibuka. He started the season off red hot. I mean, this guy was dominating, probably on his way for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But the second half of the year, he really slowed down. I think he was going through some injuries. He seems to be healthy as camp has jumped off in the NFL. 938 yards, 6 touchdowns on 63 grabs. I think you see a jump in every single statistical category for Emeka Ibuka. Fine player, fine wide receiver out of Ohio State. I expect Baker Mayfield to be looking for Emeka in every single game. He's going to be the number one wide receiver. I do expect Chris Godwin to have a solid year so long as he's able to stay healthy. But I think now that Mike Evans is gone and he's in San Francisco now, I think this is Emeka Ibuka's team for sure. At least when it comes to wide receivers. Any closing thoughts on Emeka Ibuka, fellas? Let's move to Carolina. Really interesting team because I think they had the craziest odds to make the playoffs last year, and they end up making the playoffs last year on a 2-game losing streak. I think Mossberg called them playing or making the playoffs, so really good call by him. But they end up winning the NFC South last year. As the graphic shows, they finished 8-9. This is an interesting team, fellas, because I feel like the quarterback situation is unsettled. It's crazy. Bryce Young looks terrible one game. He looks decent the next. I can't figure it out. I'm sure the Carolina Panthers are having a hard time figuring out the quarterback position. Do they entrust Bryce Young? Do they move on from Bryce Young and try to get one of these quarterbacks that's entering the draft next year? Really interesting situation. But I'm going to ask y'all, and I'm going to start with you, SEC. Is Bryce Young the franchise QB in Carolina?
No, he's not. He's good. He got experience. He played decent, like you mentioned, last year. Kind of a roller coaster type season. A little bit good, a little bit bad, a little bit good, a little bit bad. But he did what you want to do if you're the owner of a team. He got you in the playoffs. No matter what you want to say about the record in the division, I don't care. They were in the playoffs. So I do expect Carolina, no matter what happens this year, to go into next year's draft with as deep as this quarterback class is, looking for, I don't want to say the quarterback to replace him, but I'm going to call it the quarterback to push him if he doesn't replace him. You got to have some competition, or else he's just going to be your guy. So I could see Carolina leaning that way, not necessarily in the first round, but maybe a quarterback in the second, third round, somewhere down the line, to just let Bryce Young know, hey, you better work a little bit more this offseason because he's coming. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to the chat. Shout out to everyone watching. We appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, whichever channel you're viewing from. We greatly appreciate it.
Can I say something before Rob goes?
Yes, sir.
We're starting to make it, guys. We're getting trolls in the chat. We got people spamming us over here. That's how you know you're doing something.
For sure, for sure. Mr. Brown, what do you got? Is Bryce Young the franchise quarterback in Carolina?
Yeah, Bryce Young is the franchise quarterback in Carolina. I feel like even though his season was back and forth, the best season he's had so far, which allows the Carolina organization to say, listen, this guy can turn the corner. He's going into his fourth year. He's been able to overcome some inefficiencies in his first 2.5 years. I think this guy is ready to turn the corner. They got some nice pieces around him to help him to be even more successful this season. Like we said earlier, they won their division. Shouldn't have won their division, but they did. And I think that this young man, I think he's starting to build his confidence. And I think with confidence, with the players around him, he's going to have a better season this year. And eventually, Carolina's going to say, this guy is probably our franchise quarterback, but I still think they're going to draft somebody just in case.
Yeah, for sure. See, man, my thoughts is like I I I want to see him this year. I want to see if he's made any progress. I want to see if he can be more consistent because I think he has some talent. I don't think anybody doubts he has talent, but he hasn't. I don't think he's been the quarterback Carolina was expecting when they took him a few years ago. But he has no excuse this year, fellas. You got Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks should be healthy this year at the running back position. You talk about a Tedero McMillan, a wide receiver who can be an alpha, and then Jalen Coker and guys like that. So Tommy Trimble, the tight end from Notre Dame, along with Jatavian Sanders. So they have some talent on this offense for him to cook with. So I really want to see Bryce Young play this year because there's no more excuses. He has to get it done. He has to realize that potential and talent that he has when they drafted him. So I'm hoping he can bounce back and have a better year. He wasn't terrible last year. 23 touchdowns, 11 picks, over 3,000 yards. But for a number one overall pick, I think you expect better numbers. And at least, man, you got to show some improvement, some big improvement. Like Rob said, they did make the playoffs. I don't think that's good enough. I think they expect to win uh with Bryce Young at quarterback. So we'll see what happens. Y'all got any more thoughts on Bryce? Well, let's move on. Let's talk about this running back situation. Fellas, Jonathan Brooks. He should be healthy this season. All reports are suggesting he's healthy. So my question to you, Rob, is will Jonathan Brooks beat out Chuba Hubbard for the RB1 position?
Jonathan Brooks will beat out Chuba Hubbard for the running back one position. I feel like Jonathan Brooks is a much more complete running back than Chuba Hubbard, but Chuba Hubbard is a beast too, bro. And I'm telling you right now, I think that these two guys might be the best running back tandem in the NFL, especially when you talk about young guys. If Jonathan Brooks can resemble anything like he did his last year at Texas, and he can stay healthy, Jonathan Brooks has a different kind of wiggle, man. His hips can really make guys miss, and he has some decent acceleration. Is he gonna run like Gibbs? No, but or like Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard is a faster running back than him too. But I just feel like he is just a really good running back, man. And if he can stay healthy, this tandem is going to be tough. But I think Jonathan Brooks is going to beat Chuba Hubbard out as running back one, and he's a heck of a pass blocker too.
When do you expect that to happen? Do you think we see that right off the barrel, or do we see that in weeks 3 or 4?
I would say weeks 3 or 4. I don't think you can go right off the barrel with Jonathan Brooks right coming off of two straight ACL injuries. I think they're going to wait but they're going to work him in. By the third or fourth game, though, I think you're really going to start to see him excel and take a lot more reps than Chuba Hubbard.
What about you, SEC Shine? Will Jonathan Brooks beat out Chuba Hubbard for RB1? And how soon do you think we'll see that?
Can we quit talking about the University of Texas Longhorn running backs, please? Any other questions? Jonathan Brooks will beat out Chuba Hubbard. I'll agree with Rob. Somewhere in the early part of the season, I think. I think Jonathan Brooks, I watched the kid, obviously, when he played at Texas. I saw him play. But I can tell you 100% factful here. When that kid was in high school, he led his team to a state title on a team that had no business being in the state title. They should have never even gotten out of the second round of the playoffs, but they just turned around and gave him the ball. He was returning kicks. He was playing defense. This kid is just he is a winner, and he wants to win. And I don't think it's kind of like I said with the he's got the factor. So I think he beats out Chuba Hubbard. I liked Chuba Hubbard when he was at Oklahoma State. That dude was electric. When he touched the ball, you held your breath. But I think Brooks brings something a little more. I see it kind of like the Saints we were talking about, where you've got a steady hammer type of back in Brooks, and you've got your kind of speedy or electric third down-ish type back, and keeps both of them fresh. So I think Carolina's got a hell of a running game, which will take a lot of pressure off Bryce Young.
Man, I know Jonathan Brooks was dynamic coming out of Texas. He was the first running back taken that year in the NFL draft. What do y'all expect him to be, that same version of himself coming out of Texas? What y'all got?
I think yes, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time. I think he's going to have to, feel it and get it. But I think everybody knows the speed of the game in the NFL is a lot different than college.
Yeah.
They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. And I think he's going to adjust to that and continue his growth. Do I expect him to lead the league in rushing? By no means do I mean that at all. But I think he's going to be one of those backs that when you're going into a game against Carolina, you have to make sure he's circled on the game plan as the defensive coordinator to know we need to stop this guy.
I'm telling you right now, man, Jonathan Brooks has a different kind of mindset. A guy from a small-time school, been trying to prove himself for a long time, especially stepping up to the big boys at Texas, waited his time behind Bijon Robinson, got his opportunity. His junior year, they start a true freshman in front of him in C.J. Baxter. All he did was continue to work and work and work, and we seen what he did in that year. Had he not got hurt against TCU, he would have been the eventual Doak Walker Award winner. Was the first running back picked in that draft. I'm telling you now, he's going to have such a huge chip on his shoulder because he's that kind of dude. He lost his dad his last year at Texas, and ever since then, he's been trying to play for his dad, and I think he's going to be ultra motivated to come back from this second injury and do just that. And I'm excited about him and his mindset, and I think he's going to be awesome this year.
This is just knowledge for everybody out there. If there's a kid coming out of high school named Brooks out of Texas, keep an eye on him, because you got that kid, and his cousin is Dalton Brooks, who's the starting safety at Texas A&M. And they both won state their senior years. They played state, both of them.
Let me ask you a question, Rob. What, for the people who don't know, because they really haven't seen him play in the NFL, what does Jonathan Brooks bring to the game of football?
His shiftiness, man, in his hips. If it's a crease, he gonna hit it and he gonna go. And he's able, like I said, with his hips, he's able to give you that little wiggle, man, to where you think you got him, but he gets away. And he's a really good pass pro blocker when it's a passing down. He is just really a student of the game, man. A guy who has learned from some really good running backs that was ahead of him at Texas. I'm telling you now, if this guy stays healthy, they're going to love Jonathan Brooks. And he's not like he's a huge guy, but he's always moves the power forward. I love Jonathan Brooks, man, and his style of run and his headiness. They're going to get a really good heady football player. If he stays healthy, they're going to be excited in Carolina.
Yes, sir. I'm excited about Jonathan Brooks myself. I can't wait to see the type of season he can have being healthy finally. But let me ask y'all this question. I want to know who the best NFC South QB is. This is kind of interesting when you think about the situation. You got Baker Mayfield, you got Tyler Shough, you got Bryce Young, and we just gonna say the Falcons quarterbacks. Because we have no clue with those injury concerns they have in Atlanta. So tell me, and I'm gonna start with you, SEC. Who's the best quarterback in this division?
I'm not extending him, but Baker Mayfield.
So you think Baker is the best quarterback amongst this group?
I do.
Okay.
And I don't. It's not real close in my mind. I think Baker is by far the. Plus, if you need to plant a flag, he's the one for you.
For sure. Who about you, Rob?
Yeah, Tampa Bay Baker Mayfield is definitely the best quarterback in this division. Now, Cleveland Browns Baker Mayfield, no. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers Baker Mayfield, yeah, he's the best quarterback in this division. And like SEC Sean said, it's not even close.
I'm going to agree with y'all. I think Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in the NFC South. Now, I think Tyler Shough is on his way. He hasn't arrived yet, but I think he's on his way, and I like the weapons he has. I'm watching that young man closely this year. But as of right now, a healthy Baker Mayfield, I got to say he's the best quarterback as of today. Best running back in the NFC South. Rob, this should be a layup for y'all.
Layup, definitely. It's Bijon Robinson, and guess what? It's not even close. This dude is definitely the best running back in this division, and it's not because he's a former Texas Longhorn. It's simply because Bijon Robinson, well, maybe so, SEC Sean. But listen, Bijon Robinson has shown us for 3 years how good of a running back he is. And last year, he had an opportunity to break the record for the most yards from scrimmage. I think he did the right thing by not going after that record and putting himself in a position to maybe risk injury or something like that. But I think if they would have had opportunity to make the playoffs, he probably would have tried to get that record, man. I love Bijon Robinson. I think he's hands down the best running back in the NFC South.
I mean, it's kind of maybe I should have skipped over this question because we already asked who the best running back in the NFL was. So, SEC, behind Bijon Robinson, who you think is the best running back in the NFC South?
I was going to go somewhere else just to add something different to the stream anyway. Unfortunately, based on what I project, I think I got to go to the other Longhorn in this division and give it to Jonathan Brooks. Based on what I project him to be this year. Obviously, we can't really say if he was good last year because he didn't play, but I honestly think the Texas Longhorn running backs in this division, unfortunately, are the two best running backs in this division.
You would take Brooks over HN? I always got to catch myself because I want to say ETN so bad, but HN.
I do. I would right now. I mean, it's a toss-up, but if I'm looking at my projections and what I'm thinking, the best running back in the South, I guess that would be maybe Brooks would be at the end of the year. You would probably have to go that way. But I think what Jonathan Brooks brings, I think you're going to see this year that he's going to be at least the second best running back in this division.
I mean, if Bucky Irvin could get himself healthy, man, Bucky Irvin would be nice, bro. Dude can't stay healthy.
Well, that's the problem. You can't pick anybody from Tampa Bay because you don't know how long they're going to be out there or how long they're going to be on a stretcher getting carted off. It's going to look like a World Cup soccer game.
Yeah, and Bucky, you messed up my fantasy league team too, man. Bucky.
I definitely agree with y'all. I think if Bucky is able to stay healthy, man, that dude just loaded with talent. Bucky Irvin has the draft pick of Bucky Irvin has been my demise in several fantasy football leagues, Rob. So I definitely feel your pain on that one. But let's move to wide receiver. Mr. Brown, who's the best wide receiver in the NFC South? What's good, Mossberg?
I'm going to say it's Chris Olave, man, because he just got the big contract. But his boy, Emeka Ibuka, isn't far behind. Had our man not went on to somewhere else in Mike Evans, it would have been him. But I'm going to go with Chris Olave. But I really feel like Chris Olave still got some stuff to prove, too. Because last year was really probably the best season he's had since he's been there at the Saints. So he still got some proving to do. He got that contract. And, of course, his boy Jackson Smith and Jiggas over there balling out at the Seahawks. But he gonna have to prove it again this year. Otherwise, that contract ain't going to be so worth it.
What you got, SEC? Who's the best wide receiver in the division?
I mean, I think you go Olave here, but I don't want to keep picking the same people. So I'll go on the same route as I did with the running back. Somebody I think is going to have a year that is going to push them either to the top or right near the top of being in contention for this. So I'll go that route. And I'm going to go to Atlanta. And I'm going Drake London. Look at what Drake London did last year. 12 games, missed, only played 12, had 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. Give him those extra 4 or 5 games, he's right there, if not ahead of them all. So I'm going to go that route. Like I said, I think it's Olave in all honesty, but I wanted to get somebody else out there. It's no fun when we just say the same names over and over and over. Plus, then there's no room for debate.
Yeah, I get that. I love Chris Olave, Rob. I love that pick. SEC, Sean, I think you really leaning that way towards Chris Olave. I don't think you can go wrong. But for me, fellas, it's Drake London. It's Drake London. I'll take Drake London 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. When you talk about best wide receivers in the NFC South, 6'5", almost 220 pounds, really revolutionized the slot position, being that power slot. And I think the only thing that Drake London is missing is consistency from the quarterback position. If he can get that, that kid is going to ball out year in and year out. I like that you mentioned he only played, 12 games last year and still put up those stats. And the year before that, he was over 1,000 yards receiving. So I'm going to go with Drake London on this. But, man, I really like Chris Olave. And I expect Olave to have a huge season for the Saints coming up this year. Anything else on the wide receiver position? Our man Mossberg said, watch Jimmy Horn Jr. And he also said Drake London,
Yep.
now Evans in San Fran. Well, we would have loved to heard your thoughts on those situations, Mossberg, but it's all good.
Does
So my
does Atlanta have some of the biggest dang receivers?
yes, when you talk about the tight end, we talk
Right,
about Drake
Pitts.
London.
God.
Yeah, Pitts. They got
Next, they just
they also got Branch in that
yeah.
slot. So I'm excited about that. But again, man, can these
I,
quarterbacks stay healthy?
I guess
That's the
they're going
big
to go
question.
get Trades Green and just have like a power forward wide receiver position. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's crazy because think about it. Atlanta might have the best offensive weapons in the NFC South. The question is their quarterback position. Can you imagine Baker Mayfield with these weapons? Not saying he doesn't have it, but with Atlanta's weapons or Tyler Shough, they will absolutely cook. Absolutely cook. Shout out to Mossberg in the chat. He said, I'm going to make a South Bend, Indiana visit. We waiting on you, bro. We waiting on you. We was waiting on you last time, man. You left with the chicks at the after party, my guy. you said you said I won't be seeing posts this day. But no, I'm just kidding, homie. I definitely would be excited to see you in the band, and we definitely gonna chop it up. But let me get back to it. Best defense. When you talk about New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Atlanta, SEC Sean, who has the best defense in this division?
I like to lean Tampa Bay based on what they've done, but I just don't. This is why this was the question that made me post in our group chat that this is what makes this the hardest division to me because it seems like y'all saw the records pop up earlier. Everybody's 8-9. They had flashes. So based on what I looked up earlier, I'd like to lean Tampa Bay because I know that they've always prided themselves on defense. But I honestly think it resides over there in New Orleans.
Really?
With their sacks, the way 50 something sacks last year,
Yeah.
57 sacks, second in the league. I looked it up. They were ranked 15th in defensive efficiency. I mean, I know that's not great, but in a defense like this is the one that I was not looking forward to answering. But based on the sack numbers and kind of what they've got, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it to New Orleans in this one.
Interesting. Mr. Brown, who has the best defense in the NFC South?
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. I think this year, I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to make a huge jump. They were okay last year. They can get after the quarterback. I think they got a good piece at linebacker, a good piece in their secondary. They're going to put it all together this year, and I think they're going to have a really, really good defensive team, the best in this conference. I mean, this division. Will they be like Denver? Will they be like Houston? No. But for this division, I think they're going to have the best one because I think they're really going to be ready to take that next step from what they did last year. And they were decent last year. I think they're going to be twice as good this year.
This is a tough one because I feel like if Tampa Bay is healthy, Vita Vea did request a trade, fellas. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if they're able to keep Vita and they're able to stay healthy, I'm going with the Bucks. I think they'll have the best defense in the NFC South. Now, I almost went Carolina because I really like their pass rush as well. The Saints can get after a quarterback. I think Atlanta, I think they had a major injury at pass rush. I forget the guy's name, but he's out for the season. Possibly, I'm not sure, but man, I like Tampa Bay, man. I think Ruben Bain was a heck of a pick. A lot's been said about his arm length, but I think he's going to ball. Kalijah Cansey, Bijon Robinson. Like, I like this Buck defense a lot. And I think their head coach is a defensive-minded head coach. I think if healthy, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have the best defense in the NFC South. So, fellas, my final question to y'all is simple. Who wins the NFC South? And I'm going to start with you, SEC Shine.
Tampa Bay. Yeah. Tampa Bay 12-5.
You got the Bucks winning double-digit games, 12-5.
If they stay healthy. I do.
Okay. What you got, Mr. Brown?
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons, man. I think this is the third year that Atlanta has had an opportunity to win. This will be the third year that Atlanta will have an opportunity to win this division. I think they get it done this year. They've been knocking right there at the door. 2 years ago, they let it slip away from them. Last year, they let it slip away from them because of quarterback injuries. I think this year they get it done and they win the division. I think they've been consistently the better of those teams. They just haven't been able to get it done down the stretch. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons to win the NFC South.
Yeah, fellas. Man, this is tough because I like the Saints. I like what the Saints are doing. I really like Coach Kellen Moore and the offense he brings to New Orleans. Now, we all remember Kellen Moore was a heck of a college football quarterback. I got a lot of respect for Kellen Moore and what he was able to do at Boise State, what he's ever able to do as a coach in the NFL. But if all things considered, man, I got to go Tampa. I think Tampa is going to win. Rob, I really like the Atlanta pick. I feel like if they had a better quarterback situation, I just don't trust those guys, man. But maybe Tua can surprise us. Who knows? But all in all, I think Tampa Bay has the best roster. I don't know if they have the best weapons compared to New Orleans or Atlanta or maybe even Carolina. Even though I like Ibuka as a whole, I don't know if they have the best weapons for their quarterback. But I think defense, running game, Emeka Ibuka, I think Tampa Bay is going to win the NFC South, fellas. So I got Tampa Bay. Y'all got anything else?
That's where I went with Tampa Bay and putting them at 12. I think the team roster from top to bottom is the best. But we mentioned it. They got the best quarterback in the conference, right? In the division. Y'all said it yourself. Their running back couldn't stay healthy. If he stays healthy, he's a monster. You got good receivers out there. If everybody stays healthy, Tampa Bay's a 12-win team. That's been their knock, though. And, I know you said that Bucky Irving messed up your fantasy team. It must be something with the name Bucky that goes against you, Rob. I don't know. You can remember Bucky Richardson back in the day. Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you one Bucky that don't ever dissatisfy. That's Bucky's gas station.
That's for sure, man. That's for sure. We got one this way that I visit from time to time. But, man, this has been really, really fun. I appreciate you, gentlemen. Shout out to chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. We working. Anything else before we get up out of here, Mr. Brown?
Nothing else, man. I'm glad I was able to join this evening.
Anything else before we get out of here, Mr. SEC?
Nope. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll get back at it this weekend.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all join us this Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. For Robert with WTP for Life with SEC Shine of the SEC Shine podcast, and me, myself, post-game sports. We out of here. Peace.